God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my job shop. My name is Keith, and I'm here repairing America one project at a time. Now, we working together with two friends, and they're restoring a 45-foot Young Brothers. And if you look back in my videos where I did some fuel tanks, 450 gallon units, I had one on each side of this press or lift right here. And you can see, so I've been working on different aspects of this repair that they're rebuilding a vessel. Well, we're building a new mast for the radar, and the tubes that you just saw me cut were the leading edge and the trailing edge of the mast I'm going to build. Now, I have a couple cartoon assisted drawings. This one here is full size here. This is actually the mast here. You have a 40 plus inch array. We're going to have a sky link up here, and then we have another unit up on the top, and we have a few other items, antenna mounts and stuff like that. We're going to have two spreaders, and we'll have antennas on the top one, and we'll be feeding all the wiring down through these inner tubes that we have here. So I just kind of wanted to give you an overall view of the mass of this. About a foot off of here is going to be the landing for the array, and then the sky link will come out from about here, and then our spreaders will spread equal with those two, so everything looks kind of uniform. All right, this tapers down this way here, and I need to make a jig so that forgot where I put them. These are my hand fit ones that I've created, and this is the top and this is the bottom one here. And now that we hand fit them and made them, we've got the machine set up. We made 2 test runs, and we actually have those in at the upper and lower. But I've got in the plasma cam right now 2 drawings that I created, and it's going to be the back end and the front end on 2 different pieces, and they're going to be able to slide together because we want to put it up in place, and then I want to know exactly the shape of each of the frames as I build the inner structure for the mast. All right, I just wanted to point out these plates underneath our table wheels. It's how we leveled this out. So we got it level this way and crosswise, and then it allows us to actually have some kind of reference to keep things standing upright here. We get to test out my jig now. The first wing that's going to come out on the side here, which also plays in where the array goes off the front. This is the leading edge, like this is the leading edge of the foil shape. So we've got this width of encounter here, and this is like a little over 2.5, so we want 3.5. So I've marked out 3.5 on each side. So we're going to actually be putting a frame at the upper part of it and the lower part of it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lift these tubes up. Okay. Okay, we're going to make it just like that. Here's our first one, still hot off the table. It's all, I deburred all the outside of it. This is the pipe, same as the forward one there. And it's tight, and I got it set up to where I just take the rotary burr a couple times. And the same thing with this one here. This is not quite fitting in there yet. So we're all done leveling the table out, so we're going to leave that there. Once I got enough cleaned out all the way, a little bit there, a little bit there. All right, we're ready to measure for our next one. All right, I'm testing out another microphone because I'm not wearing my hat today. We're supposed to be pretty warm today. There's no breeze. When I'm welding, TIG welding, no fans, no nothing, because we need to secure the gas. So I want to catch you up. We were taking our jig, making our individual plates or ribs, structural supports in the main mast. We finished that. We made the 1/4-inch plate for the center, and then we laid out our projected foil shape for the lower and the upper spreader. The lower spreader we completed yesterday, ready to put the skin on. And the way we went about that was picking our points that we wanted to have spread out across the spreader arm on each side, and we cut out the shape that lets you slip this right into those individual positions, and then they'll have a nice clean weld bead on each side. We've hand worked all the surfaces so there's no plasma cut edge or surface for welding to. So it is critical to when you're plasma cutting out shapes and stuff like that, and you got to weld along it, to take a file. I like a second cut file and just smooth it off and break loose any of that draw surface. You know, the condition of that surface doesn't weld as nice as when it is just raw materials. It tends to just give you a little dirtier weld. So after we got these in place, then we took 1.5 by 1.5 little squares. I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see. You're not going to look down into them now, but you're going to see us put that on the upper spreader, which we have over there, and we're going to start on that here shortly. So the little squares right here are going to let us create an opening on our skin so that we can rosette weld those, just like a liquid rivet. All right, so our shape is really coming together really nice. And you can see that there's 1/8 of an inch of gap in there, and that is the thickness of the skin. And when the skin comes over here to the surface there, it'll set there, and that's where the weld bead will be. So then that will blend right in to the radius. All right, the flat surface on top gives us antenna, light brackets, whatever we're mounting on the spreaders, a position level to the plane of the roof. All right, we're going to just lob off and then grind the end of these tubes off pretty with the plate that we have tacked here. This is just a spreader plate that holds this in position, rotation, and spreads it off this way here as well. I'm using my brand new DeWalt. Now, I don't know DeWalt anything. I purchased this. In fact, what the funny thing is I could not find any place in the United States that was actually stocking the DeWalt metal skill saw, battery operated, 20 volt. I had to go through KMS in Canada, and I ordered it, and it showed up here in 2 days, which surprised me because that's faster than most places in the United States will get you something. And I don't know KMS anything as well. I'm just saying what happened. I like it. I was looking at this or the Milwaukee. The main reason why I took this is because of these. I have these all over the place. I do not have Milwaukee batteries, and if you know, you know what I mean. This is the dollar item. Okay, this is what you're paying for most of the time. And then the attachment are all pretty close to the same. There was no other difference than using the 20 volt batteries from DeWalt versus the Milwaukee's 18 volts. All right, and I'm still getting used to the saw, but I'm just lobbing off these ends here. All right, we'll roll it over and we'll hit the other side, and then we'll grind it smooth. I left it just sticking out, and we want to not try to get that tack weld because that's holding this in position right now. It's funny, the first time you grab a saw like this and you try to do a freehand stab in there like this, you almost think it's going to be a grabby type of tool, and it's really, really not. And I like how it actually stops immediately. All right, we're gonna run another series of the squares, the 1.5 by 1.5 inches. We got 20 of them to go. All right, I finally got the filter timed just right. This little section of plate here, we're going to cut out 2 of our support structures, whether you want to call them a frame or a rib. And the way we come up with these dimensions is we take the diameter of the forward rib or forward tube and the diameter of the aft tube, and then we take a measurement of the space between them, and we spread them apart so that the 2 tubes are touching at that point. And then we draw a tangent line to the outside of each of our diameters, and then we subtract 1/8 of an inch, the thickness of our material, off of each of the straight run sides. And then we have our cutout. We've got it set up to where we just go about a 3-step process and we create the drawing. All right, here we go. Here's the second pair. I actually like it better when they fall into the water because they cool down to the touch. And also too, if they're sitting next to each other, they drop down on the table or whatever, they get overspray on them. But these are nice and clean. Hardly any dross on them at all. I got the speed and everything else just perfect on these things. I think I'm cutting about 75 inches a minute, 60 amps. All right, now they fit in here just like that. And we're about that far away from where it goes into place. And this one here fits over here on the same plane here. This would be number 2. And it's about that far. All right. Now I'm going to show you what I do to prep them out. We already have part 1 and number 10 in. And now we're doing 2 and 9. We work our way towards the center because they get progressively bigger. And we get them fit in here. After we get them all fit to where we like them, then we have a setup here where we stand this thing upright, because then we level these things off and weld them in place. And we do the final fitting there. But here's how we go about prepping these. We just got a little drill press vise clamped to the table. And we just take that surface from the plasma cut to a raw material with some file scrapes or whatever you want to call it on there. It's just a nice clean surface. All right, that takes care of the side. Once we got the side like that, we take our deburr tool And we come down each side, remove the burr. And then, you know, we can do this in our hand as well. And we hit the secondary sides there. Next, we stand it up like this, and we just use a crisscross or a coarse rotary burr, and we're just rolling it just to take that surface condition off of here. We're not really trying to take any material the first time because we want to fit it. All right, now we've taken that plasma cut and did a rotary burr surface on there. Then we fit it. Okay, before we were right about like that, and now we're within a half an inch, basically the width of my scale here to the finish. Okay, we got the second, number 2 in here. We set this up to our center line and this angle, the dangle here. And we set that up, and that's how we get this planed off this way. And then we take a small machinist square, because we can put that against here and then line here, and then we come down and we get it square the other direction. All right, so that's how we're squaring those pieces up, and we're just getting them marked to our line and in there so that it's not forcing it out or anything else. They're pretty well, they're held in there so that we don't have to clamp them to weld them. Well, my first attempt wasn't too bad to video over my shoulder. All right, we're setting up on the third one here, and I've darkened the lens a little bit more, and we'll see how that does. And now that I know that I can weld this without being in the shot here, pretty much, I'd have to lean way over. Okay, here we go. I try to stop before I get there so I don't melt that out right there. It's not important to get all the way over there. A good weld, one side is good. This is 1/8 thick, and it's almost a full penetration here. In fact, you got to hold off just so you don't melt out. All right, let me grab that on the other side. You want really choice videos, watch Jody at weldingtipsandtricks.com there. I'm not the pro, he is. Now we're putting the little square tabs in these locations in here. That gives us a spot to tack or rosette weld the skin onto the spreaders. All right, I take a piece that represents the skin and then one of the tabs and I put it underneath a parallel, which I'm using for a straight edge. I'm eyeballing the gap so that I know that it's in the center, okay? This is pretty well set. It wasn't, it's about a half lap, but not quite, all right? Meaning this is still proud of this surface right here, so I can get a good penetration in there. And that's all you want, is you want a single pass of good penetration. Okay, we don't care how far it rolls over on this side here. When we look at the other side, we already know from doing the other one there that we are penetrating all the way through to this other side here. All right, here's probably about as close as I dare to go. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Turn right, machine works. The only way to fabricate. As soon as I saw the wing shape, I couldn't help it. All those old timers, you know what I'm talking about, Western Airlines. All right, until next time, get her done.